All right, so we're nearing the end of this particular chapter. I had to look through exercise 9.3 on page 298. Definitely some interesting things there, but what I thought I'd also do, because part of my deal here, I'm trying to also show you guys strategies as to how to survive both this course and courses like it, and to be honest, even just the real world. I found a couple things that I wasn't sure what they were asking for. I went and looked at the solution file. I was kind of going, oh, I mean, that doesn't do what I think it's supposed to do. And so I ended up kind of spiraling a little bit until in the end I said, you know what? I'm just going to compare. So let me show you a neat trick. So I'm using right here Notepad++. And what I did is I grabbed the code, and you of course can do this too, right? I grabbed the code for the start let's say I grab the code. What code am I talking about? I'm basically grabbing the firm future values CSS from the start solution. So remember, I set these things up so that where you open solution. So you got basically the exercise starts, and then there's of course the exercise solutions. So I went ahead and I grabbed the thing from the start, and then I grabbed the thing from from the solutions. Okay, hard for me to read. And I'd like to compare them. Now, I mean, I could if I, sort of scroll on down and sort of see what's difference. But I can't exactly remember how I did it because I've done this. I've had this forever. But basically, there's this compare feature. It's a plugin for .NET for a plugin for Notepad++. Actually, one other thing I should point out, when I copied and pasted the code, it didn't initially look like this. I had to basically tell it was C#, right? Once I told it was C#, it gets all the nice colors and all that stuff as well, okay? So it doesn't have to be C#, but it doesn't have to know C# to do this. You can grab essays of people and throw them in there and kind of compare. You can do whatever, but once I have these two files in place, I then went down, I would have downloaded, but I had the compare, and I'm going to basically say, I'd like you to compare the tab I'm on, which is start, compare that. That's the first one. And then I'd like you to compare that to the second one. And I can just go compare. Boom. And what it's doing here is it's showing me all the differences. Now, can I zoom in a little bit? No, I can't really zoom in a little bit. But what I want to do is I want to sort of both explain the solutions and show you this technique. So the first thing it asks us to do is to ask us to open the application we did. Add a using directive for the system globalization namespace. That's what this line is. Notice that by default, we get some of this stuff for free. Here, we probably because we're dealing with currencies and stuff later, we basically have to do some globalization. So that's what's going on there. All right. Number 3, modify the try parse method in the is decimal method so that it allows numbers and all numeric whatever except for dollar signs or whatever. Now, that particular thing, that was based strongly on these slides here. Slide, what are we on? Slide 25. And I can't remember where it is in the book, but it's I don't know. Actually, you have to find it, I guess, in the book. But anyway, moving that over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. I'm going to look at the is decimal. And the is decimal. Where's is decimal? And here's where I kind of got thrown off. I was kind of going, but you didn't do it. They have a to do, and they're calling this the new method, but I think this is an error in the textbook. Is what I think this is. Because I think what's going on is that we should be doing a try parse using one of these styles here. So probably something like that is what I would have expected to see there. All right. So there you go. So I believe, and feel free, you can challenge me, but I believe that they skipped, whoever the editors were, they actually skipped that step. So there's that. Then it says add another method for is currency. So if we go and we look for is currency, we should see a whole chunk of new code. Actually, right there, there's a new currency. Notice this is what they wanted us to do. Try parse with the value, and then basically stick in some of these number styles and culture info, that's probably why you need the globalization up at the top, and so on and so forth. So basically go ahead and feed in some more parameters there, which will help us determine if it's currency. So that was what number 4 was about. Number 5, modify the try parse method in is int 32. So we look at is int 32, and again, they didn't do it. So what we wanted to get that? So it allows only numbers. So I suspect again that would have been something like this. I don't think the next slide has got it, does it? No, but it would have been like up here. Hang on, what's going on? No. Yeah, allow. Yeah, there would have been an allow numbers. I'm not sure where it is, but that's where it would have been. So anyway, so that's that one. Change to decimal method within the is within range method to a parse method. This is number 6 that allows numbers in all decimal types. This one was an interesting crack here, right? Okay, so that's them using the is currency, right? Is that it? One more time. Change the to decimal method within the is within range method. Okay, so let's look for the is within range method. Right, they didn't do that either. Well, this person is gonna. That's unfortunate. Change the to decimal method within the is within range method to a parse. It already kind of is a parse. Yeah. So again, we would have wanted to have seen up there something like that. Try parse with these various allows. All right. Modify the calculate click so it uses parses, and I think we saw that up here. Instead of going converts, it's using parses, and again, it's kind of choosing some of these number styles. And then we want to catch any overflow exceptions. Do they do that? Yes, they did right here. Here's their overflow. Oh, you know what? Maybe, nope, forget it. I still think it's wrong. So there's the overflow. So they got that one done. And then test the application. Then it says add statements to the button calculate click method to format the values that are displayed in the text box like this. And so I suspect that as the information is coming out, where's that information coming out? It's currency. That's the message box, but this is the actual calculate. Oh, right there. Okay, I see what's going on. So right here, they're modifying the information coming out. All right, and it's going back to the text box. All right, so that would have been fun to watch me just fumble through, but I thought at the same time, I want you guys to know I've periodically done this already. Wasn't going through the exercises and kind of go, oh, that solution file is not right, or I don't agree with the solution file. This particular one was pretty bad, so I thought what I would do is I would give you a good example of also trying to use a tool to help you understand a tool. So I'm using Notepad++. A lot of people in the industry do use Notepad++. It's pretty old. But it's open source, so it gets constantly extended, and it's a pretty good tool. So I definitely would encourage you to think about using that for some other purposes. All right, good deal. That was it for chapter 9, and then we conclude our exciting part with chapter 10.